Welcome to Improvement Science in a Minute. I'm Brandon Bennett, and today we'll be introducing process maps, a key tool for understanding systems. Let's get started. In this module, I'll be providing an introduction to process maps as a key tool for understanding our systems. For those of you who are new to improvement, we often conceive of systems as interdependent groups of people, processes, and structures all working together toward a common purpose. Processes typically describe the day-to-day work happening in systems. They are a sequence of steps that come together repeatedly to accomplish some output which contributes to the purpose of the system. Process maps, then, are a visual tool for seeing these steps, their sequence, and their boundaries. So, why do teams choose to make process maps? Teams create process maps during their improvement journeys to discover what their work really is, what order things happen in, where bottlenecks occur, how long things take, and to clarify who does what in the system. These actions help teams figure out where improvement is needed, and even point the way toward what improvement actions to take. We will explore the analysis and use of process maps further in Session 2 of this series. Process maps, then, are a visual tool for seeing these steps, their sequence, and their boundaries. It is worth noting here that the existing design of processes often perpetuates inequities in our systems. As such, understanding what they look like and intervening in them gives improvement teams an opportunity to recreate aspects of their system in ways that move them closer to more equitable outcomes for those they serve. Consider your system of work. Pause and take a moment. Can you identify 3 or 4 processes or sequences of steps you perform regularly as part of your work? Take 1 to 2 minutes to consider the prompt. Welcome back. In this example, a group of math teachers might want to understand how to best grade exams. One math teacher might identify a process like this one and develop a process map showing all their critical steps. Having this artifact available to share with other teachers could help an improvement team to see what the work of grading looks like and to start conversations on how and where to improve that work. We will explore this further in Session 2 of this series. In looking at the process map on the previous slide, did you notice the different symbols? These common symbols are standardized to help teams read and use the process mapping tool. Rectangular boxes with rounded edges signify the start or end of a process, while arrows indicate the direction of flow through a process. While it is okay to circle back to previous steps, arrows are an indication of flow, of people, things, or information, and are only ever drawn in one direction. Rectangular boxes with sharp edges represent steps in the process. Steps are actions which are performed or occur. They are the work. The document symbol is used to describe any document or database that is used or produced during a particular step. Often it is displayed below or to the side of a process step. Diamond symbols are used to indicate a choice point when the process might go one way or another, depending on the answer to the question contained inside the diamond. These forks in the road may ultimately join to a common endpoint for a process, or they may lead to differing endpoints for the same process. A final symbol used to produce process maps is the circle. Circles represent connection points to other processes. They indicate a transition into or out of the process being mapped, and can indicate alternative starting or ending points for the process displayed. Process maps are a useful window into how systems are designed. They are helpful for displaying all types of work, from classroom to administration to maintenance processes. Anytime there are a set of steps which come together repeatedly, a process map will be helpful for seeing into the work of the system. Let's take a look at a simple example which can illustrate the steps for creating a process map. Whether used observationally or conversationally, these steps help a team quickly gain insights into how things work. Step 1 is to define the boundaries. In this example, we'll be looking at a process for catching an airplane. The boundaries are to book a ticket and to board the plane. Step 2 is to show the steps using the basic symbols we previously described. Be sure to use action words for all the major activities, as in, is it time to check in? Step 3 follows the flow of decision points to completion before returning to alternate paths. For example, if the answer is no, then we wait and return and ask the question again. When the answer becomes yes, we move forward with the process. Check in on an app, collect your boarding pass, go to the airport, and then we reach another decision point. Do we have to check a bag? If the answer is no, then we can proceed through to the security gate and then board the plane. If the answer is yes, then we have to check our bag at the counter before we proceed through security to the gate and the boarding of the plane. The final thing we might want to do is to review the diagram with our team and to add any important information which can help a team build understanding about the details of a process. More on this in the next video. See if you can create a process map. One option would be to interview a friend or colleague. Another might be to map one of the processes you self-identified earlier. Take 1 to 2 minutes to consider the prompt. In session 2 of our series on process maps, we will discuss how this powerful tool can be used for analysis and improvement of systems. Also consider some of our other content on the topics of improvement science, all available on the System Improvement Leads website. The Improvement Science in a Minute web module series is brought to you by the SELPA System Improvement Leads project in partnership with Improvement Science Consulting. The SIL project is a collaborative grant project between El Dorado County Office of Education SELPA, West San Gabriel Valley SELPA, and Riverside County SELPA. The SIL project is supported by the California Department of Education and the California Collaborative for Educational Excellence. The SELPA System Improvement Lead, or SIL project, seeks to increase positive outcomes for students with disabilities by inspiring special education local plan areas, known as SELPAs, and local education agencies, or LEAs, to engage in a culture of continuous improvement. The SIL team is committed to connecting SELPAs and LEAs throughout the state to resources with a focus on data use and governance, continuous improvement methodologies, and high leverage practices. We are innovating with equity in mind to promote excellent educational outcomes for each and every student. Until next time, thank you.